So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. iPhone XR, iOS 13. So I've been running the iOS 13 beta for about 2 weeks now, and this video is going to be very helpful if you have an iPhone XR and you kind of want to know what the experience has been like, and you're not really, one for the betas, one to use the beta as well. This can give you an idea of what you can expect, as we're only about 1 month out from the official iOS 13. So I quickly want to just confirm the software. Earlier today, I upgraded to iOS 13 public beta 6. This is also the developer beta 7. It's basically the same software, and we're going to go into settings and also confirm this in general. So you can see right here that I am on iOS 13 public beta 6. As you can see right there, no 12. So let's talk about the experience with this phone. Okay guys, so let's talk about the very first feature, the most important one I think coming to 13, which is the dark mode. In the last beta, you were able to add the dark mode appearance to the control center, and you can see everything gets darker right away. But what I really want to discuss here in this episode is about, how does it do on an LCD screen? Because this is not an OLED panel, and that can concern a few users, as they know that an OLED panel typically gives you darker colors. Well, I can confirm to you so far that it's still enjoyable to use the night mode, even here on iOS 13 for the iPhone XR. You can see it's still rather dark. Even though it's LCD, I still think this is going to be easier on your eyes at night if you are using iOS 13 on the iPhone XR. So I'm happy to report that while it's not as dark as on the OLED screens, it's still a very enjoyable experience, and I'd rather it be there than not be there. So good stuff here with dark mode on 13. Okay guys, so I want to further talk about the night mode on the XR, as we talked about how it's going to be fine with LCD, and this, what I'm going to talk about here, goes a lot for most of these iPhones. When you go into the control center, you're going to see that it's not fully dark. Like, there's a translucent background right here. Typically on other dark mode phones, Android devices, they usually have the whole entire background on the control center area or the notification center darkened fully. On iOS, it's still translucent here, so just keep that in mind. Also, it's mostly all of your Apple based applications that are going to be fully darkened out here, like the App Store, for example. Or if we go over into another Apple based application like the new shortcuts that come standard in iOS 13, you're going to see it's all darkened out. However, if you go to YouTube, for example, that is still going to be lighter until you go ahead and manually turn on the dark mode in YouTube. Now, we'll see if Apple and Google can work together to get this thing, or maybe Google can update the app to get it to work with the dark mode automatically in iOS. Maybe that'll be down the line at some point, but right now, a lot of third-party apps are not going to respond to the dark mode. It's mostly going to be just your Apple stuff. Also, the folders got a little bit darker here in the iOS 13 public beta 6 as well as developer beta 7. Just keep that in mind, it got a little bit darker. Overall, I gotta say the experience has been stellar with this new feature, and it looks very polished, which I do like here. And my last note on the dark mode, when you raise up the brightness, because it's an LCD panel, then you'll start to see that it's not fully darkened. But again, at nighttime, if you're going to use dark mode, why are you going to have dark mode turn on with full brightness? It kind of doesn't make sense. So you're typically probably going to have it really low anyway, because it's late at night. You don't want your eyes hurting. It's going to look very dark on a lower brightness, but you will see it a little bit more if you do raise the brightness up here for the XR. Also, there's a few ways to access this. You can go over here into, just hold like a haptic press onto the brightness, go to the dark mode there. You can go there, or you can just go into settings here, go to display. I accidentally hit accessibility, and then you could go and turn on dark mode there. You can also schedule this thing, which I think most users are going to do. And that's about it. We don't need to discuss this anymore. I got that brightness way too high right now. We don't need to discuss that anymore. That is the night mode 13. Okay, so last year Apple nailed it with the performance with iOS 12, and iOS 13 says, let me get a little bit quicker. With the combination of the A12 7nm Bionic chip that is Geek Talk for Beast Mode, this phone is a champ, and it's not even really slow at all on 13 betas. You would think with a beta, it's going to be really buggy and slow. I've ran into a couple of bugs, but nothing serious. So it's looking like it's going to be another stunning performance here for the XR. I do notice a little bit of slowdown when I'm scrolling through the multitasking. Sometimes it just pauses for a second, but overall I gotta say that the performance is looking very good, and Apple is claiming that animation speed is going to get even quicker here in 13, and I'm seeing that already. One thing I'm also noticing is Face ID gets much quicker here in 13. Let's take a look at that right now. You can see just right open again. just right open. So very fast upgrade to Face ID. It just seems faster here to me the whole time I've been running 13 for my 10R. So wrapping it up here with performance, I gotta also mention that it's still very smooth. Still wanna see a higher refresh rate on future iPhone series devices, but looking good here for 13. Also, it keeps that smoothness, but with a snappier animation, I really think this is gonna take down a lot of Android phones this year on 13. Again, in speed test. So stay tuned for the official speed test that I will do with upcoming iPhones, maybe some comparisons to upcoming Samsung phones and others out there. So let's talk about this amazing new feature, the quick path type keyboard. So essentially swipe keyboard. Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you're enjoying, I think I spelled your wrong, enjoying the video. So you can see very accurate. I missed your, I put you, same thing. Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you enjoying the video, YouTube. And really just, it's looking good so far. I'm really liking the quick path keyboard. So I think you guys are going to enjoy this as well. It's very smooth, very snappy, and it's quick. But not only that, Apple also went and added something else here in 13. So Apple went ahead and added something else, Memoji stickers here, which allows you to create your own custom emoji sticker, basically called Memoji stickers. And I think this is going to be a hot feature. Now, this Animoji thing, I never use it too much, but Memoji stickers I'm going to use a lot because those are right there in the keyboard. They're just like emojis, and I think a lot of us do use these multiple times a day, maybe emojis if you are texting quite a bit. So I could see this being very useful, and there's many you can play around with here in iOS 13, and the 10R has been great having this feature available for, you know, they could have easily just put this on the more premium phones to make it a distinguishing feature, but I'm glad Apple didn't cheap out there and they gave it to 10R users as well. So you're getting it there, and you should be getting this on other iPhones as well. This has been a good experience so far for me, the Memoji stickers. All right, guys, so let's discuss the battery life for the iPhone 10R. So over here, 91%, you know it's really good stuff here, don't you? iPhone 10R has always been pretty good on battery. But if I go to battery health, there's a new feature here, optimized battery charging. So what is this? Like, bro, what is that? So basically we turn this on, and essentially it's going to learn your patterns of how you charge, and it's going to stop the charging before it hits 100. Like if you go to sleep, for example, it'll stop it at 80, wait till around the time it learns that you wake up, and then top it off so you don't keep lowering your battery percentage. A lot of people do not like when they see their battery percentage lower than normal on their iPhones. Like right here, maximum capacity, if that thing says like 96, 95, people start worrying. Well, I think this is gonna help that last just a little bit longer. And this is always a good thing to get better battery life for your iPhone. Comment on my experience so far with the actual performance of the battery. It's been pretty good. Of course, I pretty much always rock the iPhone 10R in the low power mode to basically save battery life. But I gotta say that it's gonna be a good experience, I think. I don't see this really draining too bad, and I see that the 10R is still gonna retain that very good battery life it's been known for when it does get this official update. So this is a good thing. So let me talk about something I've really enjoyed with the iPhone 10R, the new volume HUD over here. You can see it right there, very skinny, off to the side, a little bit bigger on one press, a little bit smaller on two presses. Also, if you are doing something in landscape mode, that guy also gets out of the way, which was something that was very annoying in prior versions of iPhone. So you could see it's up there at the bottom, still out of the way. Okay, so a new change here to the iPhone 10R that's really been a different experience is having the haptic press shortcuts here, kind of like 3D touch, and it works very well. It's also nicer than the older way of Apple doing things. It's a little bit thinner, and you can kind of just see things a little bit better. I do like the way they have it set up here. Now also, if I'm in Safari, I can use that haptic press to go ahead and press down and use the shortcuts in Safari as well. So like peek and pop features are still there. So I gotta say that I've been enjoying this. So, you know, this is one of the main reasons my Sims stayed in the iPhone XS Max, but having these shortcuts here for the 10R have brought me a little bit closer to the 10R. So I do like using this phone a little bit more now that we have these shortcuts, these haptic press feedback. I just think it's useful, and it should have been there from the start, but it's here in 13. So talking about Safari, like if I go into Safari, it looks a little bit different right here. If you go to the little A's over here. You can see show reader view, hide toolbar, request desktop site, and website settings. Also, if you download a link now, you will be able to see a downloads folder kind of off over here on the right, kind of like a full browser. Now in settings, also in Safari settings, you can close tabs after 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month. And I've been enjoying this because have you ever had like tons of tabs open, you kind of forgot about it, you went through your tabs and you had 47 tabs open? Get your stuff together. No, I'm kidding. You can use this feature in iOS 13, and I think it's gonna be great for those of you who don't manage your tabs that frequently. Okay, so Photos gets a nice overhaul here in iOS 13, and it looks beautiful. So just a lot cleaner looking. If you guys haven't checked it out, you're definitely gonna like it here for 13. You have months, years, all photos. Also, the videos will start playing automatically if you do hover over them. Right here, you'll see them playing, like a little preview of them playing. So that's a really nice touch. You see in the basket just go in right there. That's a really nice touch for iOS 13. So if you guys are planning on getting iOS 13, you're gonna love these new photo updates to this device. Okay, so discussing reminders, we get a nice update here as well. Creating reminders is a lot more clean, and also you get different color codes. I mean, you had this before, but it's just nicer looking. Like, let's just put it that way. It's cleaner setup. You're going to be able to use Siri to do this as always. And I just like the way it looks. I think you guys are going to be finding this a lot more useful than reminders in the past. And overall, the experience has been a thumbs up. With the dark mode on, it also looks plenty dark enough at nighttime to check out your reminders. So gotta say, iOS 13 for the 10R here is going to be something that if you haven't used reminders before, you might want to take a look at it because it's been all redesigned and it looks great. So in iOS 13, the Shortcuts app comes pre-installed, and on the 10R, it's been a pretty good experience so far. If I hit the Shortcuts application here, you can see that I have tweets set up already. I didn't set up many yet, find my keys and some tweets. But if I go to gallery here, there's many that you can go ahead and set up. They're right there. You can read through them and see which ones you want to put there. And you don't even have to really go ahead and create it yourself. But if you want to, just go to My Shortcuts and then you can hit Create Shortcut. It'll give you like a sheet of options and that pops up, and you could put your contacts there and many other things. So for those of you who like quick actions, you want to use Siri, you don't want to deal with finding things yourself, you're a busy person, you might like this feature a lot in 13. So it's been a pretty decent experience so far. And there's some small details I've noticed on the 10R and pretty much the other iOS 13 devices is if we take a screenshot, you can see just the pens, they look better. And if we click the color icons, it pops right up. The pens, the eraser, the stuff just looks better. And I'm very happy that Apple is paying attention to the little deets, the little details on the iOS 13. So that's just something I noticed in Notes that's also changed. Also, certain just little elements look a little bit different on 13. Like if you go into iTunes, for example, you can just see like little icons appear, featured charts, and you'll just see in like other applications, the way they highlight things just looks different. So I like to see different changes, and you get a lot of them here. There's a lot of small things. This is more of a speed and just a little polish update over 12, but it's not like, you know, total change, but the little changes they do make just give it a more of a polished experience. And one of my favorite features in all of this 13 experience has been the phone dialer. Now, not the phone dialer itself, but something related to the phone dialer. So in phone settings here in iOS 13, you can see silence unknown callers. Now that's a new feature that we just gotta love, because all these people calling you that you don't even know these numbers, I know it's happened to you, is going away. And I haven't had any trouble in this beta. So gotta love this, not just blocking the contacts yourself, but the phone will figure out unrecognized numbers for you. Huge thumbs up here. So that's it with the iPhone XR iOS 13 beta 6. I think this is public beta 6, developer beta 7. We're about a month away, but really the intention of this video wasn't like a beta review per se. It was more of just what you're gonna expect with the XR. And you've seen that it's looking very positive. And the reason why I'm so excited for this is because the XR gets something like haptic feedback, a dark mode, and it still gets fast, silencing, blocking callers automatically, which is pretty nice. Also, just better performance, better Face ID performance. So this value iPhone XR becomes even more valuable to me after the 13 update. So let me know your thoughts on iOS 13 for the iPhone XR. Leave them down below. For people who are not about this beta life and they're just waiting for the official in the fall, give them an idea of what they can expect. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't already for more content like this. Also, Note 10 coming to the channel. Stay tuned. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well. Thank you very much for watching, and peace.